What is your most shameful, embarrassing, perverse, creepy thing you've ever done? Story 1. I was 10 years old and playing in my backyard. It was full of snow and I was just laying on my back. I wondered what it would feel like to stick my dick in the snow. So I laid on my stomach and pretty much slid down my 3 layers of pants and stuck my dick in the snow. It felt so good in a weird way. Then my mom came out and she saw my ass as I was struggling to pull my 3 layers of pants back on without revealing that I was pretty much effing the snow. She can be pretty clueless at times. She just asked if I wanted hot chocolate after I got back in. I said yes. Since several people have asked, I did not stick my dick in the hot chocolate. Story 2. When I was 6 or 7, I had a friend who lived in the yard behind my house who was about a year older than me. One day, my sister, who was in her teenage years at the time, was sunbathing in my backyard while my friend and I were playing in his backyard. He saw my sister and jokingly said that he would give me $1,000 if I went over and took off her bikini top. Now, I was a pretty sheltered kid and I didn't understand the titillating nature of boobs, so I agreed. Before he could stop me, I jumped the fence and tried to take off my sister's top. She flipped the bird out and nearly killed me. To this day, we have never brought up the incident. Not me, my friend, or my sister. Story 3. I met my husband on a porn site. He lived in another state, so we talked for a few months before agreeing to meet in person. I got so fed up with waiting to pick a weekend that I just started driving in the general direction of the small town he lived in. I called him and asked for an address. At first, he didn't give it to me, but about 200 miles later, he finally gave me directions and I was only about 13 miles from his apartment. I felt like the biggest creeper on the planet. Story 4. I was inside, walking down the stairs towards the front door of an apartment. I saw a nice breeze through the window. I walked closer to the window to get a better view, but the door blocked my line of sight until I was right next to the window, 3 feet away from her. By that time, she turned around. We made eye contact through the window. The look on her face? She knew what I was doing. I turned and sprinted out the back door of the apartment. Story 5. I was a teen on vacation with the family. I decided to do my own thing and check out girls around the resort. Walking up to the pool area, I noticed a woman was lying face down on her pool chair, and her bikini bottom was too loose and her vagina was exposed. I kept walking back and forth to build up my memory for later jerking. When I felt like I was good to go, I went to turn and go back to my room, but then I saw my dad walk over to the woman and sit down next to her. It was my mom. Story 6. When I was 12 or 13, I spanked it under the thing they put on you while you're getting a haircut. The woman was so hot and flaunted her boobs. It didn't take long. I honestly don't think she knew. I have no idea how long it took, but I knew my time was limited since my 12-year-old haircut was basically just a buzz and snip. I remember propping the smock over the armrest to hide any motion, and I just pocket fapped quick. I doubt that at 12 there was any substantial splooge to hide or worry about. Plus, I always wore goofy shorts back in the 80s, and splooge stains would have blended right in. Story 7. When I was young, we used to have foreign students stay at our home. They used to have their own bedroom with a built-in shower. My room was next to theirs. Each bedroom had bay windows, and I used to position the mirror in their room with mine so I could watch the girls take showers. From the age of 7 to 15, I watched sexy, and some not-so-sexy French, Spanish, and German girls shower. I must have seen 50 different girls. I knew it was wrong, but I was young and horny, and the internet did not exist. Story 8. I used to live in an old apartment building that had paper-thin walls. I had some really hot neighbors, and I always thought they were just loud. My room was right next to their bathroom, and there was an access panel of some sort in my closet between the rooms. One of them used to sing in the shower and had a beautiful voice. The other used to masturbate and make little moaning noises. Every morning, I would flap to the sound of their quirky little bathroom rituals. I regret the day that I looked behind the access panel and found plumbing, bare studs, and an electrical outlet that was conveniently cracked and provided a perfect view of the room, which was fantastic. Every young guy's dream. After living there for a while, I got to know them pretty well, and we would drink beers and make food sometimes. One day I was over for dinner, and they asked me who I effed more. They knew I watched them, but wanted to know who finished me more. My face has never been so hot in my life. I still watch them. Every once in a while, I would catch a little smirk. The saddest day of my life was when they moved out of that apartment and Steve moved in. Story 9. I attended an Iron Maiden concert. I was on a lot of different drugs. I remember grabbing a woman's boobs in front of her boyfriend. I'm a very large, intimidating person, and the girl's boyfriend was a very skinny, small guy. I am also a person who would rather walk away from an argument than get into any sort of physical confrontation. I felt like an asshole and wished I could apologize. It has bothered me for years. Story 10. When I was in 5th grade, I had a huge crush on the popular girl in school. One day, I found out where she lived and sent her flowers using a telephone service and a money order I had made with saved up money. This girl didn't know I even existed, but I sent her flowers signed, "Happy birthday, your secret admirer." The day the flowers were supposed to arrive was her birthday. I found her house and climbed a tree in a vacant lot across the street. I was pretty high up in the tree and looked through my binoculars into her bedroom window. I watched all day. I saw every woman walking her dog, every move in front of every window of the house. Finally, it got late at night and she went to her room to change. She took off her clothes and changed into her pajamas. I imagined her playing with the flowers and thinking about me. How foolish was I to think she would know who sent them or even think it was me? As I tried to exit the tree, I slipped and fell about 20 feet into a thick bush of thorns. I went to school the next day and had 5 dozen cuts on my arms and face. Story 11. When I was a teenager, a girl left her pillow at my place. I didn't realize it was hers and used it as a napkin for like 2 months straight. Once it got too crusty to use, I just tossed it into a corner and forgot about it. It was a nice golden yellow and crunchy. So later on, she comes over, sees the pillow, and is like, "Oh, there's my pillow." She grabs it and leaves. Later on, she told me that pillow smelled really good and reminded her of me, and she slept on it for months. Story 12. When I was 16, I'd been fapping for years to find or steal porn, which was great. But I wanted to see live boobs, not images or video. A friend and I tried sneaking into some strip clubs, but got denied. Then one day, my mom's younger friend from church was spending the night, and she was sinfully hot. Now, I discovered that a vent for the guest bathroom opened into the hallway. Also, you could open the vents from outside the bathroom as well. So my mom and I stayed up late talking and then decided to go to bed. I was in the other room playing on my N64 when I saw that she went into the bathroom and started taking a shower. Now my pervy brain got the idea that if I opened the vents and peered inside, the Holy Grail could be mine. I crept down the hall, opened the vent before she was done, and shut off all the lights. Then the curtain opened and, oh Lord have mercy, were her breasts amazing. I stayed as long as I could without someone noticing me, then booked it to my room for a home run fap. Praise the Lord for boobs. Story 13. When I was around 13 years old, my friend sent me an email with a picture attached to it. The picture was a nice little ass. He explained in his email that a girl he was seeing sent him this picture and that he was forwarding it to me because it was pretty hot. I furiously masturbated to it. A few days later, he admitted to me that the girl never sent him this picture. He just put on his sister's pants, took the picture, and sent it to me.